we've only been in this fully for a week, knowing.
God, doesn't it feel like 100 times longer than that?
Oh my God.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Voice of the Radical Center. My name is Jonathan Langley.
And I'm Jackie Nowak.
And we are sitting here in the illustrious Voice of the Radical Center studios in beautiful sunny downtown Austin, Texas. It was actually not so sunny, which is ironic today, but with our tea.
Yes, taking deep breaths,
And
inhaling, namaste.
Well, that's very good. You do yoga? Is that all that yoga stuff?
Yeah.
See, if you're listening to us on the interweb, you just did a sort of a yoga move.
Yeah, well.
You're almost like a flower child from the 60s. Now, clearly, you're too young for that.
This is how you relax.
Oh, is that right?
Meditate and you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're watching us on YouTube, just do that again. Show us. Can you do it again? Let me see it. Let me see it.
What? What am I?
No, that's it. That's very good. That's
Very
excellent.
good.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Very good. Well done. All
And
right.
drink our tea so that we can have a nice, relaxing conversation.
So
with
we
our
have,
friends.
yeah. So we have Earl Grey tea because it's a way. I think tea better than coffee. You actually said it earlier. You find coffee makes you anxious.
Well, sure. It amps
Okay.
amps things up a little bit.
And tea, I find tea I need coffee in the morning, but tea in the afternoon, as we're recording this, it is more relaxing, isn't it?
It is more relaxing.
And,
we can have a nice, calm, rational conversation.
Well, we're going to try.
Okay.
Because the Voice Radical Center is a show where we focus on real facts, if we can, and when we let them land where they may.
Yes, but we try not to be divisive. We
try-
try to come with resolutions and
And we call people out
yeah,
if we feel
can.
like it. And we're going to get to that Wall Street Journal yet again. I can't help myself. Jackie's reining me in. I'm not allowed to do it for too long today.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, but we are talking. One thing we are going to talk about some lighter topics because we feel that people are fed up with coronavirus.
Right. We're going to have to talk about the coronavirus
Yep.
and what's happening in Washington, primaries, all that sorts of stuff. But after that, then we get to talk about some fun stuff. So
Yes, we
something
will.
to look forward to. You can fast forward to the 30-minute mark.
Yes, yeah, and
if you don't want to hear anything more about the
yes,
coronavirus.
and anything we show that's a graphic or something, if you watch us on YouTube, then the graphic will be there so you can see it. And the reason I bring that up is we're talking about the unsung heroes of the coronavirus situation.
Exactly. Some people signed up for that knowing that they would be on the front line, and other people didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought that the grocery store cashier was going to have to put her health at risk to go to work every day for the rest of us? But we appreciate it.
So Politico, I actually very appropriately brought out the number of people. I'm going to ask you some questions.
Oh, okay.
Who fit this criteria. Cashiers, nursing assistants, paramedics are the people on the front line. They're the highest risk of exposure. So the supermarkets are open and the cashiers,
Absolutely.
and they make the median wage. The median wage. You know what the median wage is in this country, by the way? Average income?
Well, I know that 60% of Americans make less than 15 or make about $15 an hour, I believe.
Right. So the average, which would translate into about 38,000. Right. The median wage is $35,000 a year, and there's 24 million people in that category who not only make less than $35,000 a year, but also are at risk because of what their particular job. So these are the most at-risk jobs, but also the lowest paid. Now, as you can imagine, most of these are in service sector jobs. So we're not necessarily talking nurses per se, because nurses typically make more than the $35,000 as they should. So what do you think so cashiers, obviously.
Yeah, cashiers.
How many of them do you think there are in America?
Well, I know that that at one point, and it may have been 10 years ago, that department stores and cashiers and department store workers were the number one provider of jobs in America. And how many people are in that sector? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, 3.6 million.
Yeah, it's
It's a
that
lot of
sounds
people.
Pretty good.
And we know they're not going to be out of a job if you're working in Walgreens or CVS or in the supermarket chains.
Right, but if you work in a boutique,
But if you
or
work
if
in a
you work
boutique
at
or somewhere,
at
yep.
a mall, those are all closed down.
Yes. Next, of course, is in numbers and also the lowest paid, no surprise, is waiters and waitresses. But they're going to lose their job. So it's a
Right.
moot point. I mean, most of those people aren't going to have a
And
job.
they
right.
depend on tips.
And
So
they-
even
right.
if they got a percentage of their pay does not include their tips that they would have earned. But
Right.
think of, I mean, hair salons, the service industry
In general.
has been hit the hardest, obviously.
Right. So personal care aides, that's a very important one. Personal care aides.
Do you mean like a
Nursing home.
Oh,
No, not nursing assistant. That's a separate category. Personal care aides, there is 2.2 million in the United States, and they only make on average $24,000 a year. So they're going to still be in business. Nursing assistants will still be in business. Cooks in restaurants clearly will be out of a job. Teaching assistants, well, a lot of schools are going to be closed.
Yeah, but I think that if you work for a school district, chances are you'll still get paid, right?
You would hope. This is, first line supervisors of food prep and serving of workers.
I mean, think about the catering and the
Yes,
weddings
that's where that
and
is.
the events that are being postponed.
So here's another two that are right in the front line here. Home health aides, people that come to your house,
Yes.
and medical assistants. And these people only make, well, home health aides literally only make $2,000 a month. And medical assistants make $33,000 a year, and there's 673,000 of those in the United States. So basically, these people signed up to do low-wage jobs,
Right.
but in theory,
Not really planning that
Correct.
their health would be at risk.
not planning that their health would be at risk. And clearly, the number one, I would have thought out of all these, well, if you're working in a nursing home, that's a tough one. But no question, medical assistants, and home health aides, of course, people going to people's homes. But number one surely has to be cashiers in a place like a supermarket.
Well,
Something
in
like that.
today's economy, absolutely. I think that is. I actually haven't been to the grocery store in a couple weeks, but I did ask my husband if the people were wearing gloves because he ventured out a little bit this week, and he said no, not all of them.
And the other thing is, these people,
But they, not to say that gloves are.
they can't self-isolate. They can't work from home. It's a physical.
No.
You have to be there physically.
There's many American jobs or jobs across the world that there's no opportunity, especially service industry. There is no
No, it's a
work
service.
from home.
It's called the service
I mean,
industry for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if you're a masseuse, you're not working.
You know, you definitely wouldn't be working right now.
No.
My actual my hair stylist guy, I've been going to him for 20 years, and I called him up out of the blue on Friday. I see he owns his own salon, and I actually called up his salon, and they said, as a matter of fact, he could fit you in this afternoon because I knew I might not see him for a bit. So I went to see him, and even before the governor's shutdown of salons, he had already made the decision
To go ahead and
to go ahead and close it. And he's a very responsible guy. He's actually
was Friday his last day?
Friday was
open?
his last day, Friday lunchtime, and he's made the decision to, on Monday, he's going to have his entire crew come in, and he's going to help them fill out unemployment. They're all
good.
going to do it together.
Okay.
Which is very responsible of him. And he's not only that, he offers everybody health insurance if he can.
Yeah.
So he's going to try and fit. He says, I can't do that for everybody, but there's a couple of people he can do it for. Because here's the other problem, which is a big safety net hole. Only 51% of employees in the bottom quarter of pay, which is who we just read, some of those people, get paid sick leave.
Yeah.
So if you
And-
get sick, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and that puts a lot of people in a real predicament right now because, well, I should just go ahead and tell you this too. So
Yeah.
we know that the people are at risk at the grocery store, and yet so many people are losing their jobs. One grocery store chain here in Texas has had 40,000 people fill out applications to go to work.
Is this HEB, I presume,
It
because
is
for people that don't
HEB.
know what HEB is like our local,
It's
but they're
statewide,
statewide,
yeah.
very well run company.
It's top notch.
Apparently, it's great to work for.
I think
but they had
they're-
40,000. Wait a minute, 40,000 people apply in what?
Applied to work. I think possibly within the last week.
No. Oh yeah, because
40,000. I mean, if you think about it, if you're looking for a job and you know the grocery stores are open, you're going to go apply at the
and not
grocery
only that,
store.
if you're only one of the people I just read as a category,
Yeah.
a waiter or waitress at a restaurant or somewhere that you're a cook that you know that's going to be closing, for obvious reasons, the
Yeah.
restaurants or the gyms are going to be closed, and you're probably not making a lot of money in the first place. HEB and others like it are probably a good place to work.
They are, but that may not be your preferred choice. It's just where you can get a job
So
now.
wait a
Because
minute.
who else is going to be hiring? I think it's pretty much Amazon
Yes.
or the grocery stores.
So 40,000 people applied.
Yes.
So they're saying no more apply?
Well, yeah, they don't. They
Is that what
couldn't
they're saying?
Yeah, because
Okay.
if you've got 40,000 people to choose from, you don't need another 10,000 applications. So they put a hold on that, which I totally understand. But let's.
Oh,
you
they
know,
put a hold on it.
Yes.
Okay.
But they're hiring as probably as fast as they could get people started.
Well, they
I
need
mean,
people.
They need people.
Yeah, it's like
because
Amazon.
It's interesting.
Have you bought toilet paper? Have you hoarded toilet paper
not.
and paper towels?
I have not. I had plenty of paper towels in my garage, and I have.
Who are these people? Why would you want to
So
hoard toilet
I
paper? What's the
found
reason?
out the mystery. This is how somebody explained to me,
Okay.
whether it's true or
Go
if
ahead.
it's just internet folklore.
Okay.
So, people believed that our toilet paper was made in China, and so
What?
they thought the gates to China were closing.
No. Who said, really?
This is what was explained to me just yesterday.
Okay.
Somebody said,
Wow.
but it's
Chinese
actually
toilet
made
paper.
here in America. Georgia Pacific, I think, is the biggest maker of toilet paper, perhaps.
So
It's
they,
a paper company.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Actually, there's a British thing about why people buy toilet paper, though.
Oh.
You want to know why? And paper towels. No, I know why we buy
Okay,
toilet
thank you,
paper.
thank you.
But why I figured that out. So why are we rushing to buy toilet paper? And this guy, because in the UK, it's very interesting.
They're doing the same thing
I'm
there?
an American. Yes, they're doing the same thing. And one of the things which the British government's also trying to do is help people with mental health issues. I mean, normal everyday. I'm not saying people who are mentally ill,
Mm-hmm. Right.
but
I mean,
because
no, it's amping up.
That's why we're drinking.
Anxieties.
That's why we're drinking our tea.
Right, we're trying to stay calm.
But they said they spoke to psychologists who said why people buy hoard things like paper towels and toilet paper when there's clearly no shortage.
Right, is it a comfort?
It's a way of asserting control over your life. It's just a
I can buy
way.
that.
It's just a way of saying, I've got some control.
Things are going to be okay.
Things are going to be okay, and that's why you buy things
Well,
like
it
toilet paper,
actually
which actually
even-
kind of makes sense.
I have to equate the run on grocery stores to the run on the banks of the Depression. People, I don't think.
Yeah,
we
what do you
needed
think's
to
going to
panic.
happen? We're not going to run
Well,
out of food.
There's plenty of good reasons why people felt like they needed to be prepared, right?
Well, I guess
we don't
that,
know if it's just we didn't know if the
no, but if
grocery
it's a
stores were
complete
gonna be able to stay
lockdown, even
open.
in Italy, you can still go to the supermarket. You
Yes,
can
but
still
a lot
go-
of people don't want to. And so there's a lot of people
Oh,
who
well, that's true, too.
shouldn't continue to go to the stores. If you're over 65
Correct.
or 70,
Yep,
maybe
yep.
you just needed to stock up and sit this one out.
Yes.
But it is wonderful that the stores are opening early for older people.
Are they doing that here?
Yeah.
I know they're
they
doing
are.
that in the UK. Are they
Yeah,
doing
so
that here?
from like it's 7 to 8 some places.
Okay.
It's for senior citizen shopping.
They're not allowing, and they're closing now, right? Because some of the HEBs were 24 hours. They're closing them so they can restock. Is that right?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Okay.
Because they stock overnight anyway, even if they're open.
But 40,000 people applying for a job tells...
because immediately within this last week, because at the time of this taping, we've only been in this fully for a week, knowing...
God, doesn't it feel like 100 times longer than that?
Oh my gosh.
Seriously, I
Talk
mean, here
about
in Austin,
stress, yeah.
here in Austin, it was only on Thursday.
I think it's obviously been going on in
Yes.
Washington State,
Yeah,
New
New
York,
York.
and Los Angeles a little bit longer than it has here.
And surely, in it's only just the other day. I think Abbott, right? Gov Abbott on Friday or Saturday,
Yeah.
said gyms are closing, restaurants are closing, bars are closing.
It was voluntary up until
Correct.
Friday.
And now they've
it's
made it
mandatory.
compulsory.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. And so those people have
And
to
that was a right
work.
call.
Of course.
It could have been done sooner because obviously the mayors of Houston and Dallas did it even before the mayor of Austin did it.
Right.
And I think
But
it was
again,
a little late.
people have said, why are we shutting down the economy? The trouble is it's already happening. Rational people aren't going to go to the gym. Rational people aren't going to go to aren't necessarily going to go to a restaurant.
Right.
Unless you're Devin Nunes, apparently. It makes sense that rational people aren't going to fly, which is why Delta and all these other airlines, and we're going to
Are in quite a pickle.
We're going to get to Marriott in a minute. You're in quite a pickle because people
And
have
do you
already
think
made
that
that
the government
choice.
needs to bail out the airlines as being?
Well, I think bail them out is the wrong word. I think take ownership, or excuse me, take a share of ownership.
Really?
Yes, we're bailing them out, for heaven's
No,
sake.
I think just give them low interest loans and see if
No.
you don't think
No.
they could pay it back?
American Airlines and Delta, just to pick two. No, I'm a frequent flyer on all these guys, so I have some history with it, especially on American. So I'm not knocking American per se, because they've improved a lot in the last few years. I've got, 5 million miles on America. I know people with 10. I'm just making the observation that these airlines have improved a lot in the last 10 or 15 years.
Oh, sure.
After 9/11, they had no money to spend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's recently they spent a lot of money. Here's the problem. Delta and American in particular, I can't speak for United, I don't know, have spent billions of dollars on stock buybacks.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. So yes, we should
So
bail
they
them.
have no money in the bank.
Correct,
because they
for a
gave
rainy
out.
day. So
But if we give them the money,
we should lend them the money.
lend them the money.
Yes, at a low rate, or zero, basically.
I don't think we need to take
Yes, we should.
government ownership.
No, not ownership.
Oh, okay.
We take collateral in the form of shares.
Mm-hmm.
So when those shares go up in value, we the people who've lent them the money
Okay.
can make a profit.
I like that.
And we also have a seat on
But
the
then
board of
we-
directors.
But then do we eventually sell it back to them?
Yes. Well, no, we just
okay.
sell it on we sell the stock on the public market.
Okay, perfect.
And-
I just don't think that
No, we
the
don't need-
government needs to own the airline.
No. Once
Okay.
we take, let's say we have to lend, it's 60 billion right now, I think
Yeah.
they're talking about, or
Okay.
billions.
No, I'm up for that.
Let's say we have to lend, let's pick a number, $8 billion to American Airlines.
Right.
We get collateral in the form of shares, and we get because we're the people funding it, and we get one person or two on the board of directors.
Okay.
Once it's paid back, with the board of those two individuals, whoever it is, resign from the board of directors.
Okay. No, I think that's totally reasonable.
And whatever we sell, if we sell it at a profit, that's fantastic.
Then-
We don't just buy shares on the open market. That won't work, right? Because that doesn't help the company. All we're doing is paying other shareholders. We have to buy a stake in the company, and in return we get shares.
Okay, I think all of that is totally
what
reasonable.
people call preferred stock.
Yeah.
And that preferred stock allows us to then sell at a profit, assuming it goes up in value.
Okay.
Doesn't that make sense?
No, it totally makes
Okay,
sense.
I mean,
so I would agree with that. So
Okay.
I'm on
we actually
board.
agree on something.
Imagine that.
This tea must be working.
Woo, there you
What
go.
did I
Sing
put in the
on.
tea? I might have put something in it. If I didn't, maybe
There
I
you
should
go.
have next time.
There you go.
So that leads us to the state of the hospitality industry, because and the bailout that's coming.
But are they going to bail out the hospitality industry?
See, this is the question. Are they going to? They are going to have a general for small businesses. Now, we
I know,
should point
but
out
it's
that
not
you.
specific.
No, I
to-
haven't seen anything
Yeah.
yet. But Marriott is saying that they're going to furlough 3,500 people approximately from their corporate offices in the United States, and then thousands more overseas. Now, every country overseas has different rules, so we're just going to focus on the United States. But so furloughing 3,500 people, Marriott, that's horrible. I mean, I haven't looked into their bookkeeping because this only happened today. It's in the Wall Street Journal, or last night I read it. I have no idea what their cash situation is.
Right.
But they're saying we're going to furlough these people for 3 months. I will be shocked and amazed if they don't have enough money in the bank
To pay them.
to pay that for 3 months.
Isn't that what the bill coming forward from the Senate and Congress is supposed to do? Is supposed to if you keep 90% of your workforce working, then or is that just for small businesses?
I think it's just for small business.
Okay. So but there's always corporate aid in some sense or
there
another.
is definitely some businesses like airlines, which are key industries, like Boeing.
I would go with the fact that hotels.
I don't count them as a key industry.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I think it's part of the whole hospitality world. No, people are employed in the.
That's different.
Okay.
I'm talking, yes, from a corporate, from the responsibility, just from a United States responsibility of taking care of people, of course. But as a strategic industry, that if it failed completely, could we live without it?
No.
Other people, it's easy to open.
I think it's
you could open a hotel. You can't open an airline overnight.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
In that respect, I see.
That's where I'm coming from. So there's $300 billion set aside for small business. Which was
$300 billion.
That's what it says.
That doesn't quite seem like
it's
enough.
nowhere near enough. Not to cut workers Marco Rubio says there's strong agreement for this bill that people will be able to obtain loans of up to 250% of their 1 month payrolls.
Can I interject
as long as they keep their people being paid.
Yes, but the problem with this is it doesn't address contract workers. So if you're gainfully employed and you've worked for a company for a couple years, great. Your employer, as I will do, will apply for a small business loan so that I can continue to pay my employees. However, if you're a musician, if you're an artist, if you're an actor, if you do the bricklaying at different jobs all over the place, you don't have an employer. So who's going to apply for that money for you?
And that's the problem.
You get nothing.
There's no safety net in this country. There's no sick leave safety net in this country to take care of people or people who were laid off because of something like this to get money. Now, I do believe in this bill. I have it here in front of me. I do believe in here somewhere there is money set aside to protect not only people's 401ks and any changes.
Okay, but not everybody has a 401k.
No, I'm agreeing with you. There is something in here that talks about making sure that people at least can get some money. Now, giving everybody $1,200 is what they're talking about now, and $500 for children. That's great, but so what?
What happens every month for the next 6 months.
Possibly 6 months, exactly.
Well, let's say 3 or 4 months at least.
Yes.
Because if you're telling us we can't go out there and make money, we can't go out there and go to work.
I can't work in the restaurant.
And if we can make it happen in the United States, that's great. It's really interesting. I was listening to NPR, and there was a lady on talking about people in Africa.
Yeah.
And she goes, Americans are so concerned that the government is going to help them out and they need the money. She goes, you don't realize, there's so many people in Africa that are also going to be quarantined and their government is giving them nothing. So,
well, I mean, again here,
we should appreciate, we shouldn't just take it for granted that we are, living in abundance.
But we're not
Africa.
We're not Africa.
No, we're not.
No,
but
we're
that's
better
what I'm
than
saying.
that.
We need to be thankful and be, as much as we can complain that it's not fast enough and it's not enough, I'm thrilled that we have people working on it to solve the problem. Now, it wasn't initially a bipartisan meeting. How do you feel about that?
I thought it was pathetic. It's just awful. These people, it's like the Republicans. This is what I was going to read to you. The Republicans were upset on one of the earlier bills that they were unhappy with a paid sick leave provision, but voted for it anyway because they were worried about not getting anything done. And it's like, come on. This is people's livelihood. You want them to have paid sick leave so that they get...
But who pays the sick leave? The employer? I mean, that's what I don't understand.
Well, in this case, it's money coming from the government.
The government will pay it.
Yes, the government will pay it. And here's back to the airline industry. Sarah Nelson, who's the president of the Flight Attendants Association, she wants to make sure, and she's right, that there are strong labor protections in any assistance for the airlines because, she says, our entire economy depends on relief focused on workers. Absolutely.
Well, okay.
Otherwise, you end up with a Marriott situation.
Well, let me tell you a little something. So last week, one of the people that I thought could very likely be infected was trying to get tested for the coronavirus was my sister.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And she's a flight attendant, a very high-risk category of
Actually,
people.
that's what it just said. She just said that in
And,
that. I didn't read it, but that's what that woman just said.
She woke up, she couldn't speak. Her voice was...
Which airline does she fly on?
I'm not going to
Oh,
say.
all right.
And...
She's on American. I might have met her.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know if it's appropriate
Okay.
to
All
say.
right, that's
She
fine.
hasn't given me permission, so I'm going to leave it right
okay.
there.
Okay.
And she was trying to get tested for the coronavirus because she's in a high-risk category. She was in tears because she couldn't get tested. She didn't know if she needed to stay away from her kids. She didn't know if she needed to call out for work for 14 days. She went through a process and never got tested. But I told her, I said, you need to get on the phone with your union rep. You guys are on the front
Good
line.
idea. Good
2
idea.
weeks ago, I said, well, you're wearing masks and gloves, aren't you? And she said, no, we're not allowed to.
Oh, really? Well, I don't think I'd want a flight attendant wearing a mask.
You know what?
I wouldn't want
Why?
that.
Who? I think all of the cashiers need to be. Why? Who are they to say that because it would intimidate people that she should put her
No,
health
I
at
don't
risk?
think it. I don't think masks protect the person. They only protect the person from infecting someone else, from what I
Okay,
read.
so if she had gotten infected over her flights and flights and flights,
I understand.
it just wouldn't hurt.
So what was the result? Which state was she in? Where was she trying to get?
She's in Texas.
Oh, she's in Texas. Okay.
So she actually went through an online process because she couldn't get into a doctor and determined that she had a double sinus infection.
Oh.
But even after I spoke with her today, she said it just knocked her out on her butt. She still wonders, did I have that too?
Oh, she feels better now, though.
She feels better,
Okay.
but her voice is coming back. It's just
Is she still going to? She's a senior flight attendant. No, I know people who are junior flight attendants.
She was.
They're going to lose their jobs. They're going to be furloughed in the flight attendant industry. Is she going to keep her job? Does she think?
I think so, but she's called in sick the last couple days and hasn't worked. But I said, so you're still on this? She said she was supposed to fly in today, and she had to call in sick still.
Well, that's probably the right thing to do. So,
Yeah.
I do know some younger flight attendants who are now really worried about keeping their jobs.
Well, first of all, so when you have to think, do I go to work to get my pay and put myself at risk?
The answer is yeah, you go. That's what
Most people do.
That's why the cashiers are showing up at the supermarkets.
Absolutely. And it's not really fair to put them in that position, but
What
we
else do
need
you
them.
do? I mean,
know.
I don't know
well,
what else
I
you
wish
do.
we had more masks. I know I was even looking at a broadcast in Peru, and the military, the police, the people walking around, they all had masks.
Yeah, but again, everything I've read
know.
is the masks don't necessarily protect you, but they
I
protect other
understand.
people if
I
you're sick,
understand.
which just doesn't make sense.
But if you
Why
don't know if you're infected,
right, that's
then,
true. All right, so I can throw this away from Marriott because that just made me
yes.
mad as hell.
Okay, there is one little thing.
Okay, go ahead.
So I saw a clip, and I have to harass him because it was just wrong on so many levels. So Lindsey Graham came out.
Oh, boy.
And he was.
You're going to talk about Lindsey Graham in front of me, but go ahead. It's okay.
No, you can pile on if you like.
Thank you. I probably will.
But he was comparing the virus to being at war, which I totally get and I agree with. And he was comparing it to World War II.
I don't
okay?
agree with that at all.
No, I think we need to enact the military, get them involved.
Well, Trump's got this thing that he enacted, right? I forget.
He has not enacted it.
He's enacted it, but he hasn't used it.
Okay, he hasn't used it then.
And he won't use it, and I don't know why. Because you could force industry then to make the things that you need. Because he keeps saying, well, private industry is stepping up.
Well, I think they probably are stepping up.
Well, no, Como and others have said no. But anyway, what's your point about Lindsey?
So he was referring it to like the Japanese and the Germans. But he literally said, yes, like World War II reference.
Yeah.
But he referred to the virus as like we're fighting against the Japanese and the Germans. And it was so tone deaf and so irresponsible and just a stupid comparison that
I'll have to
I
look
can't
that up.
believe.
I
Yes,
have to look that
look
up.
it up. Everybody
Was
should
this
look it up.
recent?
I think it was today or yesterday.
And he basically said,
Yeah,
Trump.
He actually says we're fighting this virus, and he didn't clarify his reference, and he goes, yes, we're fighting the Germans over here, and we're fighting the Japanese, and I just thought
That's just
extremely
stupid.
tone deaf.
It is tone deaf.
Oh, it kind of made me a little bit crazy.
The thing is, though, right, is everybody. I was talking to someone about this during the week. Boris Johnson, UK Prime Minister, British Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Lots of people want to be thought of. Boris is big. He's a big fan of Churchill. Everybody wants to be like a wartime president. Everybody says Lindsey Graham.
Even President Trump said it.
Yeah, I want to be like Churchill. I want to. I'm sure every Ted Cruz, all these other people.
Rise to the occasion.
I want to rise to the occasion. It just and it's early days, but it just goes to show. Really, these people that admire Churchill, who had a lot of faults, as we well know, but these people who claim, looking through the lens of history, who want to be like Churchill, it's not that easy. It is, in fact, incredibly difficult because rise to the occasion, Churchill would always say, well, not always say, but he could motivate the British people, but he leveled with them on many occasions.
Right.
We're going to fight them on the beaches, all those famous things. But he knew. Well, he didn't declare to the British people that, listen, we were like 48 hours from losing at one point, right? But he made it very clear how dangerous it was motivating people. I think Boris in the UK is trying now, recently, I was watching him this morning, to sort of rise to that occasion. Is there anyone
Yes.
in the Republicans or Democrats who you think is rising to that
yes.
occasion?
You want to know who? Andrew Cuomo.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
So he is
Fair enough. You could be
coming
right.
across as very presidential and
Yes, he's setting himself up to run.
He might be,
yes.
but maybe he should run.
Oh, we should definitely
So
run,
I talked to a Republican who sent him a letter. So
Really?
impressed. Yes.
A Republican?
Yes. And said thank you. She appreciates his press conferences daily.
They're fantastic. I agree.
His calm demeanor, his
Yes.
straightforward talk.
Was he the one that said if something happens you don't like, you can blame me?
Yes, he did.
See, you can blame who do you want to look at? You blame me. I made the decision.
Yeah,
that's what you want.
You take responsibility
Yes.
for what's happening.
Yes,
and so bravo, somebody is stepping
You're right.
up, and it's not necessarily any of the people you would expect.
And the thing about him is, I'm shocked that, well, not shocked, but I'll admit I was kind of surprised that when he does those press conferences on a daily basis, I think they're at noon Eastern because they show up at 11.
Because people are starving for information.
He's on every major news network,
Yeah.
including Fox,
Good.
and covers it wall to wall, which makes me think that has to drive Donald Trump absolutely freaking crazy. Which is why
we'll never know.
we will. We're going to know so many things after this, but I think that's why he does his dailies right after it, because he's seeing what Cuomo's doing, and I got to do this too.
And he should. We're starving for information. There's so much misinformation, and I can't say that President Trump is helping the situation.
No, of course he's not. I mean, his own physician, that little man who peers above the little tiny man.
Yes.
But my point is,
him.
But do we?
Yes.
No.
Oh, I do. I was going to look up his name real quick. What?
He says, I read about him, he says, I don't want to contradict the president, blah, blah. Yes, you should flat out frigging contradict the president. If the president says something stupid,
and he has,
you should say, this is not right. No, you got to be blunter than that, like Cuomo is.
Well,
anyway, I agree with you. Cuomo's doing a good job. We'll see.
Dr. Fauci.
That's it, Fauci.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I appreciate him.
I do too, to a point.
He is a voice of reason, and I can take what he says and believe it. And
I can too, and that's what you want.
Unfortunately,
because Trump's in La La Land. Seriously,
yes.
seriously, La La Land.
He's hoping, and at some point you want to give him the benefit of the doubt and
No.
say, well, is he just trying to?
No,
in the
he's not.
beginning, is he trying to remain calm and keep people calm?
Trump,
and
no.
unfortunately,
Absolutely not.
We need a little bit more of what Cuomo's
You
offering.
can't give him the benefit of that at all.
I know.
Okay.
I'm
It's how long have we, been on this earth? You have to.
Right.
Okay, so can I? Speaking of people who don't give the benefit of the doubt, and then we move on to a lighter topic.
Yes.
Can I do this first, though?
If
So
you
I'm
must.
once again I'm calling out the Wall Street Journal op-ed page. I do subscribe to the Wall Street Journal. I really like their writing and their edit and their news.
You like it, but you sure do
Well,
complain about it enough.
no. Their news reporting is fantastic. It's spot on. It's really good. It's the op-eds that upset me, mostly because it's, how should we say, bullshit. So the coronavirus vindicates capitalism is from Kimberly Stassel, who we'll be reaching out to.
It vindicates capitalism.
That's what she says.
Okay,
It's
no, I'm
coronavirus
just,
vindicates
wanna make
capitalism.
Sure
like last week, we called out the guy for talking about how many beds there were, only to find out that the actual beds next to number of critical care beds, which he said were multiple higher than Italy, were actually less than Italy in his very own article. Okay, she says relying solely on the government bureaucracy is insane. I think most people can agree with that. Government will save us. How's it working out for Italy? Well, that's a terrible thing to say. First off, remember, Italy has better health results.
Well, she could have easily said, how's it working out for China?
Exactly.
And they're,
or South Korea,
yeah,
which has done a really good job.
Or Hong Kong, that's even better. Yeah,
exactly. Anyway, so Italy actually, has better results across the board in every category as far as survival rates. But she goes on to say, and this is what got me... She's talking about drug companies. That's her main point. That Bernie is attacking the poor little drug companies. She goes on to say the crooks, that's her words in quotes, a drug company Roche had started on their own high-volume test. She's talking, of course, about vaccines in January. Now, my point in bringing this up, Miss Kimberly, is that I love how they always bring up these drug companies, but they're not American.
But she called them crooks.
No.
Oh.
She's put crooks in inverted commas.
Oh, so Bernie
is implying that they're crooks, and she's saying,
okay,
oh, the poor little crooks are anyway. So Roche, R-O-C-H-E, which is a very old drug company, is a Swiss drug company owned by Swiss shareholders with a Swiss CEO, and all the profits are repatriated back to Switzerland. So to say it's a private company, absolutely. But to imply, as they do so many times, that it's the American ingenuity, that's the word I want. American ingenuity, American capitalism that's doing this. No. In this case, it's Swiss.
Well, I
all right,
think
that's it.
Both,
we'll be reaching out to you, Miss Kimberly.
Both Miss Kimberly and Bernie take extreme views, right?
Yeah.
She says they're the heroes, and he says they're the crooks. And the reality is, it's something in the middle.
Correct.
And that's what we're here to talk about.
That's why it's called the radical center.
Right. So we're saying that maybe they're both right, and yet they're both wrong.
Correct. They're both wrong.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense. I mean, how many times have I called out just in the last few months the Wall Street Journal op-eds for being not even understanding?
Pretty much every week.
Yeah, for even not understanding for not even knowing what their own facts are. That's why. Okay, all right. So, just one other thing, just to clear the air a little bit. We are, if you're listening to us, and you can see us on YouTube now, and I just want to talk very quickly about Amazon, right? We are going to be on Amazon.
Okay.
But we have,
he's talking about the live show.
The live show. We have been affected. This has affected us.
Oh,
on
sure.
On a business, on a very business level. We were going to do a live show here in Austin in front of an audience, and guess what?
Yeah.
We can't do it. We postponed it because I just want to say, because we talk about it a lot, and now we can't do it.
Right. So just stay tuned. It's no big deal because we'll still be here and
at some point,
we'll get it done.
We hope.
Oh,
we'll be here.
I plan to be here.
So
he might not be.
Right. So let's talk about something a bit lighter now. Now the tea's kicking in, and the drugs I put in the tea. So one thing I want to talk about is what are you doing to stop from going insane?
Yes.
Because there's nothing. Even if we're not in lockdown in Austin,
no,
but there's nowhere to go.
Well,
everything is closed.
I've ventured out a little bit, been on some hikes, been on some long walks.
That's good. Ride bike?
Yeah, bike rides.
But you can't play tennis in your neighborhood now, apparently.
No, they're closed. The tennis courts are closed.
That's really okay.
I'll be taking a little break there unless I feel like jumping the fence.
But the golf courses are still open.
You know what? The public golf courses have closed here in Austin.
Have they really?
They've closed, but the private ones remain open.
Okay. So one of the things we wanted to talk about was what we're watching to try not go insane. So obviously people are watching Netflix and Amazon Prime and I imagine Hulu.
Tell me what shows you're into.
Oh, what am I watching?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so Monty Python, of course. Now, I don't know why you find that. I don't know why you find that so funny.
Favorite Monty Python is?
Oh, Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
I knew you were going to say that.
You know why? My favorite is the one where he goes into Castle Anthrax. You ever seen it?
Oh,
he goes into Castle Anthrax and there's 166 virgins, and everybody wants to have sex with him.
All I know
and they want to have a spanking. That made me laugh my ass off when
It's been now. How old? That's like
1975.
30 years old.
It's 40 years old.
Oh, 40. Okay, so
Life of Brian, Meaning of Life.
Okay, I've never seen any of those.
Oh, you got
I did see the one. What the first one you said?
The Holy Grail.
That was like in the 80s.
No, 70s.
No, that was the 80s because I did see that one.
Okay, I could be wrong.
And I might have fallen asleep.
You fell asleep in there? Well, actually, the meaning of you've never seen the Meaning of Life with Mr. Creosote, where he's so overweight he says, "Give me another bucket. I gotta throw up," and he always throws up.
I have no idea what you're talking about, and I may
Monty Python
it
fans
more now.
will know. All right,
I know that my husband loves. He loves Young Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, yes.
And I just don't get it. I mean, I
it's
think
not my favorite, but I know what it is.
As I get older, I appreciate the humor of it, but
So what am I watching? I've been watching the newest season of Westworld, which I'm just trying to.
That could give me something good to binge. I started.
You can't binge it. They're only on episode 2. Oh, if you haven't watched the earlier ones.
Well, I believe I watched all of season 1.
There's 2 seasons already, so there's 1 and 2 now.
Yeah, so I haven't. And I'm not even sure. I can't even quite guarantee that I watched the entire.
So you know what I like watching? This is going to make the rock shows. And it's not music.
The rock shows.
Third Rock from the Sun. Oh. And 30 Rock.
Oh, there you go.
I've started. I think those are funny.
Okay, so we're back to the 90s.
And Frasier.
And we are deep into the 90s.
Yes,
You're gonna watch a little Seinfeld and Friends?
No, I don't watch Friends.
Hey, that's television.
Do you watch Fleabag?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
with the priest, with the sexy priest.
Yeah. See what happened?
Why is he so attractive to women? This priest. He's like 5'8".
There's something about the man you can't have. Maybe I don't know. He's just a good-looking guy.
Is he?
There's very charming. Yeah.
Now, I've never actually watched the season 2. She falls in love with him. Is that right?
Oh, they fall in love together.
But then he goes back to the church. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, great. Spoiler.
Well, sorry.
But what happened with me is I turned on Netflix or Amazon, whatever it's on, and started watching from wherever my computer was. I did not realize I actually watched season 2 before I watched season 1.
Fleabag.
I thought it was the beginning.
Oh, Fleabag.
It made a perfect beginning.
You know why I brought up Fleabag? Because clearly the priest has made an impact with the people at the New York Times, people that review the people that review television, and their list included Fleabag, and they made a point to state, and I didn't actually look to see if it was actually written by a woman, but I'm assuming it is because she made the very point to say if you want to see the priest, you got to start at season 2. Because he's not in season 1.
Yeah. No, he makes a nice impact.
Does he?
Yeah, heck yeah. Oh. I liked him. And now,
okay, so
speaking of romance,
hold on, I haven't finished telling you what. Can I just give you? Ahead. So I gave you 30 Rock, the rock shows, and everything. One other is the Stranger on Amazon.
And you've watched that?
Yes,
the whole thing?
It's really good.
Did you like it?
Yes.
So my husband, really I got a little distracted, like in episode 3 or 4.
Okay, so what's on your list?
Went back. But if you liked it, maybe I'll give it another whirl.
Yes, it was very. Oh, did your husband watch?
He watched the whole season.
Did he watch Fleabag with you?
Oh, we watched it separately because he watched it first.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is really interesting because he's sort of this guy who's. There's no sports on TV. There's no sports happening. So his easy go-to is sports. And so he was, we had a long walk and he was sort of spinning yesterday. I said, he just talking about the coronavirus and talking about our business and how things are. And I said, you know what? I think you need to put on the Longhorn Network and watch a football. And sure enough, a Texas-Oklahoma game. They only play the games that we won.
He would watch an old game.
Oh, he did.
Oh my God!
And you know what? It put him in his happy place. So.
Well, you know what I saw? I read the other day, or yesterday, or today, even the ESPN did 7 hours of Tom Brady's best games when he was with the New England Patriots.
Okay.
I guess there's no other content. They've got to do something.
No,
they're getting creative.
I saw that they were doing some wacky kind of sports that were going to come on. I'll get more information on it, but like unusual sports.
I mean, in the UK, the English Premier League is shut down. Liverpool, Man City,
right.
Man United.
So there's a lot of people who have
exactly.
Wait a second, that's
They've
what
got
I did.
nothing else to do.
Sports.
All right, so that's okay. That's where I am. What have you in the last few minutes? What have you got that you're
okay? So
watching?
Tonight, just so everybody knows, is Hollywood Week for American Idol.
Okay, so you're going to have to explain to me what Hollywood Week means.
Okay, so they go around the country auditioning people, and if you do really well, you get a ticket to Hollywood. And then you go to Hollywood,
so
and
this
you
is,
have another round
so
of
what is considered Hollywood Week, though?
They spend a week in Hollywood.
Okay, so these are the people
so say you start with 500 people that go to Hollywood. Then it gets down, and then it gets down, and then it gets down. And I think they get down to like 20.
I don't even know who the judges are now on that show.
It is Katy Perry.
Okay,
Luke Bryan.
She's pregnant. I don't know who Luke Ryan is.
Brian.
I don't know who is he.
He's a country star.
Oh, okay.
And then Lionel Richie. I bet you know who he is.
Oh, of course, yes. Okay.
So,
well, Lionel Richie's a real talent.
They're all very
he's a true
talented
talent.
people. Yeah.
So no more Simon Cowell.
No, he hasn't been around for a while.
I miss having Simon Cowell.
You know, the voice of reason is, there's something about the hard truth.
Actually, you know what? I had
saying what it's hard, looking somebody and going.
I had an epiphany about Simon Cowell yesterday, believe it or not.
Do tell.
Because I've been reading the Daily Mail. Not that I read the Daily Mail very often, but I am curious about what the headlines are. I'm talking about their website. Mm-hmm. I can't stand it primarily because Piers Morgan is part of that, and I can't stand him. But they had a thing about Simon Cowell with his family. They're walking on the beach, and I started me thinking, you've heard this criticism from me multiple times. The American press doesn't now, most people on television, do not know how to interview a politician. It's almost like they want to be their friend. They never actually confront them.
Right.
And it suddenly occurred to me, whereas many British interviewers, I am an American, but clearly I come from a different country originally.
Right, but I can tell you the reason is you'll never get those people back on your show. I know, but
you don't come back. That's my job. I don't care.
Yeah.
So if you can't stand up to if you can't stand up to a Simon Cowell or an informed interviewer,
right,
then how can I believe you're going to do a good job for your citizens?
Yeah.
So it suddenly occurred to me, when Simon Cowell first came on American Idol, which was actually, he was part of the creation of that show back in the UK, where it was called Pop Idol, he shocked Americans because they thought British people were always so polite and everything, but he was really saying, not everybody gets a gold star, not everybody gets a ribbon, you're terrible, get off. And it occurred to me, he brought that sense of, like you just said, I'm going to tell you the truth, to a sort of a pop culture thing, which is missing from American television news people when they interview politicians. It just struck me as that's why I get so frustrated.
Well, and I think that's why people appreciated him.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, I got off topic, but okay. Well, let's talk about what you're watching. Like, throw everything on the floor.
So tonight I'm going to watch American Idol.
I understand what Hollywood Week is now.
I think that it might be the series finale of Homeland. If it might have a couple
Why do
more
women
episodes.
like Homeland?
Well, because there is a strong lead actress.
Okay.
Who
is she British? Is she English or Scottish or something? I've seen bits of it. Is she?
No, I believe she's American, by golly.
Because isn't it set in Scotland?
Homeland?
If she travels back to the 1400s, how can it be set in the United States?
That is Outlander.
That's
a whole different thing. So
am I confused?
Yes.
What am I talking? What are you talking?
Homeland is like a CIA. You should really watch it.
I definitely have my wires crossed.
Yes, but Outlander is a time travel.
I thought that was
romance.
one you watched. Was that?
I watch them both.
Okay, you're jumping around on me. Okay, so Outlander is one of the things you watch, and Homeland is one you watch.
Yeah.
But Outlander is the science fiction,
Yes.
bodice ripping type thing.
Yes.
Okay,
Which I highly recommend.
And Homeland is still going?
I think this is its finishing up.
Well, didn't they
So-
make a movie star out of one of the actress that was in it? Or am I totally getting my wires crossed on shows here?
They're all pretty big stars.
I don't watch much TV.
Oh.
I watch Netflix and
I am
Amazon.
a TV addict.
Yeah.
And a TV.
I'm proud of it, but it
I'm
sounds...
very proud of it.
Okay, so you love The Priest on Fleabag.
Yes.
You watch the body ripping
Yeah.
show.
And those
what's
guys
it-
are pretty good.
What's
Outlander.
Outlander. So what else do you watch?
I kind of watch everything.
I mean, now you're stuck at home. We can't do much.
Yeah. So let me
There's
see.
nothing to go and eat, for example.
Well, let me tell you. So one of the things to put me in my happy place yesterday.
Yeah, sure.
My husband and I were watching Cash Cab. We kind of binged it. I told him to just record it all.
Wow, who watches cat? Okay, is it?
I love trivia questions.
So you would like to be
I'm
one of those
fun
people that
on
gets into a
game
cab
night.
in New
I would
York
be
and
so
suddenly find
thrilled.
out?
And of course, I would watch
All
5
right.
episodes, know all the answers, but I'd get in the cash cab, wouldn't know any of the answers.
Sure. Okay.
So I've got a couple questions for you.
Wait a minute. Are these from Cash Cab?
Yes,
Oh
they
wow,
are.
they're actual. You
They-
actually took the time to write them down while you were watching it.
Yes, I did.
Holy cow. Okay. Fair
But
enough.
they're all really relevant, and they're from a bunch of different episodes. So this one,
Man, you guys must have been bored out of your skull to watch multiple episodes of Cash Cab.
we had nothing else to do, but
Wow.
it was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was
and
rainy
it kind
here
of
in
takes
Austin.
away
Okay.
your worries, and
All right. All right.
you care. See, I mean,
Go ahead.
you can't drink all day every day.
No. So go ahead.
So you got to come up with something.
Okay.
to
Go
do.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm ready.
So trading in the Cold War for a hot slice.
What?
Just let me
Oh, you knocked Donald Trump off, but
Oh,
he's our
sorry.
little
Sorry,
troll there. Donald. Go ahead.
Trading in the Cold War
Yeah.
for a hot slice, what Soviet leader starred in a commercial for Pizza Hut?
Oh, Gorbachev.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it had
yes.
to be Gorbachev.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
Is that crazy?
Yes, I remember him. I
You,
remember
do you
him.
remember the commercial?
Yes,
I
remember the
guess
commercial
if I
because
saw
it was like a
I
coup.
don't think that I realized it was really Gorbachev. I guess I probably thought
Yes.
it was a Gorbachev
I can't believe I got one right.
impersonator. Yeah.
I got that right.
Yeah,
it really
yeah, yeah.
was him. I remember it. It was a big deal.
Okay, so
I was
how
in
about,
America at the time, so I remember it.
Okay, so a longtime libertarian, what Texas congressman has been called the intellectual godfather of the Tea Party movement?
Oh God, I should know this. And if you tell me his name, I'm just going to go, oh yes.
Yes, you should know this. I made questions that you would know.
It's not. Tell me.
Rand Paul.
He's not Texan.
I didn't think he was, but that was the answer. I was
Rand
gonna
Paul.
Yeah,
I was going to say the only libertarian I know is Rand Paul.
yeah. That was the
Or
correct
Ron
answer.
Paul, his son. But I didn't realize Rand, because I forget what state they're actually in. But Ron
Maybe
Paul,
he ran originally in Texas.
maybe, but Ron Paul just announced he has the coronavirus.
And where is he? He's
They're up. I forget which state he's
Yeah.
in. But that's what. That's the only libertarian who really claims to be a libertarian. By the way, Ron Paul's just a pain in the ass. But yeah, okay.
I was surprised.
No, seriously, he is.
Yeah,
He's just a pain in the ass.
I was surprised how many kind of political questions that they had, and
Well, how many did you watch?
a few.
Like you were getting drunk at the time? Is that what, fooling around
I
on the
was
couch? Is that what it is?
sobering up.
Okay, sobering up. Okay, at 2 in the
Had a
morning.
little happy hour.
Okay, all right. Okay, keep going.
Okay, so let's see if you can do this one.
Okay.
Peaches is the childhood nickname of what CIA director?
See, these are unfair questions. I have no.
I know. So you just kind of have to start guessing.
The only one
some
I know
CIA
is
directors.
Herbert Hoover. That's the only one I know.
Well, I think that I wouldn't have known the answer.
Well, he's
to
a
this.
cross-dresser,
Well-
so I could see him
Oh,
having
so you could call him Peaches.
Peaches. That could be his sort of his stage
His
name.
pseudonym.
His pseudonym, yeah.
No, it was General Petraeus.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So he became a general. That's pretty good.
Petraeus was a general, right?
I think you're right. He was.
he's
Yeah,
CIA
yeah.
general.
CIA
Okay.
general.
I
okay.
just have written down Petraeus.
Okay.
But I
Give me
threw
one
it.
more, and then we'll give me one
Okay,
more.
so final one.
Yeah.
Let's see if this is worded a little tricky, but let's see if you can get it.
Okay.
Fostering parental participation in schools. Fostering parental participation in schools. What organization went 113 years without electing a man as its national president?
Just the parental participation thing, I'm going to call it the PTA.
Absolutely.
But yes. I didn't know that was an actual national organization because I thought they were just the local PTA. I didn't realize there was a national one.
So
is that right? Okay.
Every area has a local branch, but it's under the national umbrella, I suppose.
All right.
And women have been in charge for 113 years.
Well, it just goes to show what a good job they've done. It's 113 years old. Not many organizations can say that.
Good point. I think you're right.
Okay, so you're going to go home. I'm going to go home, and I'm going to watch the latest episode of Westworld tonight.
Or Benny Hill, or Monty Python.
I've sort of Monty Pythoned out a little.
Okay, need a break.
So what are you going to do? You're going to watch American Idol.
I'm going to watch American Idol and Homeland tonight.
Which is really kind of sad.
But maybe I'll get caught up on my Westworld.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
No,
it is not sad. Those kind of put you in.
I know. I get it. They put you. I get it. They're what you might call, especially American Idol, sort of quote mindless entertainment.
Yes, and I highly recommend the game show channel, which I
didn't even know there was a game show channel. Is that why you saw the Cash Cab?
Yeah,
it's on
I'm
a
not
game
a
show
big
channel?
game show channel, but I do love trivia, and I do.
This is why I'm thinking of getting rid.
I may be watching the game show.
This is why I'm thinking about getting rid of my cable. Because I pay for these channels and I never watch them.
Yeah, it's not like I really hang out there.
No, but you've got watch them once in a while.
I don't generally. No.
Oh, okay.
No,
you were
but
just
in
drunk.
these times.
Yeah, I understand. So do you want to take us out?
Yeah, I just want to tell everybody to have a great week, stay relaxed and calm, and together we can get through this. And so let's think of the people in your area that you can help and stay in touch with people. And I'm really telling my kids last night, they FaceTime me instead of called, and it does make a big difference. So I recommend that to everybody. It feels like you're in the same place as them. So.
All right. Well, that's great. Well, listen, thank you, everybody, and I'll see you next week. I will sterilize the Voice of the Radical Center studios so you feel better next time.
I truly will appreciate that.
Okay. Thanks a lot, everybody. Goodbye for now.
Bye-bye.
Now, do you think that was much better?
Yes, I really do. I absolutely do.
Okay.